Hello, guys. Welcome back to Approved or Not.
Or not. We are going
Um,
to finish out Obojima today. That's right.
yep. And we're
We're gonna
starting
finish.
off with we keep on spinning for the spells, even though we are really close. In fact, very good shot we finish it today. But first one, we have Warlock, and the first actual one we haven't covered is Dara Blocks.
Yes. So
Third
this is the
level.
third level. It's an
Duration's a
action. It's
minute.
got a range of an area of 60 feet. A material component that does not consume or have cost, so we can ignore it.
You create
A
five.
1 foot 1 foot cube. Wait, you create five
Oh,
cubes of
okay.
magical force
That is
known as
weirdly
Dara
put.
blocks.
Okay.
Each block appears within range of magical place. To all creatures up to you, and then your creature when you cast a spell. A creature that can see the air block, loading one benefit from the way a block fixed in the air can hold 5,000 pounds. Oh, I see. I get it.
Uh,
Uh,
what's the purpose of the spell?
making stairs.
Oh, I mean, oh, for a third level spell?
Yeah, no, it's not strong. Each star block appears in different audio features in the range and can magically fix in place. The blocks are invisible. Except you and your creature that can see the data block, including one. A block fixed in the air can hold up to, yep, more weight causes the block to fall. A creature can use an action to make a strength check. So you can technically move them. But you are not wrong.
Approve without thought?
Approve of that thought, yeah.
Yeah, third level. Okay, what sucks about this? If it is what we're calling stairs, do you know what's the biggest issue with that? Now,
Fly.
yeah, fly or heck, I would argue levitate could get you a very similar stair-esque effect in the right.
You're right.
Right. Yeah. No.
This is
This is.
way too limited. We're gonna move on.
Yeah. Wow. That was disappointing. We also got
Plummet.
plummet. Let me scroll down to where that's on the page. There you are. What do we got?
Is a
So,
third level action, 300 feet range. Rebel Somatic, it's got a save. You conjure enormous glowing force which wraps around a flying creature within range and attempts to pull it out of the air. A failed save is pulled to the ground and takes one falling down.
wait.
As normal. Halfway
So
to the ground takes no damage. Hey, what level is Earthbind?
Earthbind, I know it's second level, but I don't know what the exact effects of it are.
Earthbind is
5e,
second level. You sure?
5e. I'm pretty sure. Spells. Let me double check myself.
If Earthbind is second level, this is approved without thought. It
uh
is.
Earthbind. Here it is. Uh. Uh.
I guess technically the big thing this does is make him fall.
Yeah. This specifically causes them to take damage.
But nah.
Is there a save with this? Is there a save with that other spell?
Earthbind, yeah, absolutely.
Uh.
It's strength save.
Oh, it's You know what? The other one relies on Dex, so I'm wondering.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Eh,
It's approved
I
without thought.
yeah.
Look,
I mean, if you're fighting a
fall damage
dragon,
is even fighting a dragon. Fall damage just isn't that much.
yeah. What else do we got?
That is it for Warlock, I believe, but I'll do a quick check for you.
Let's see. So Storm Sally, Pacify Monster.
Done, we've done, we've done, we've done. Yeah, that's it for
Yeah, that's
Warlock.
it. All right, next one.
So I will quickly spin a wheel here.
We got
And we're gonna look at
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Let's see,
All right.
Sorcerer.
Anything new? We've looked at Jolt, we looked at Retrieve, we looked at Recap,
Yep.
we looked at Task. Have
Bubble
we looked at Bubble
we
Lift?
looked- I believe we looked at that one.
Double check for me.
Bubble lift. Yep.
Duplicate, I know we've looked at.
Yep. Forest.
Forest Guard sounds new.
It is. What is Forest Guard? What do we got?
Alright, we got a first level action, 60 feet, duration 10 minutes, not concentration, that's good to know.
Action. You create a small
Small animated shrub, which grows in the ground, not conscious of your choice that you can see. The shrub has a number of human-like characteristics, such as a wooden body and face, but it lacks arms and can't move. Any creature hostile to you that moves space within 10 feet. There is targeted by the shrub. The shrub makes a ranged attack using. What that modifier on hit the creature takes 24 slash damage once on your turn. You can use it.
It
What
This
a
is.
lame amount of damage, but it's a first level spell, but also
Do you honestly? Do you want
we need
something that
something to
I
compare
will?
it to.
Well, there is no first level summoning spell that does damage. Like the summoning creature can't
I
do
don't want
damage.
I don't want a first level summoning spell that does damage. There are two things I want to look at. A first level spell that does damage that is used as a bonus action if possible, and
First
a
level
first level
spell that
spell that
does.
does more multiple damage over time. Like
Ah. Well, I don't have one that's a bonus. Oh no, because that would be concentration. So I don't know if I should count that.
even if it's
Uh.
concentration, count it.
We have what the fuck is it called? It's the one where you do a line of acid. You know what I'm talking about?
Acid splash,
No, no. There's one where you do like a it's when on there caustic brew. Caustic brew. That's what it's called.
caustic brew. I don't think caustic brew is exactly what I'm looking for, but I think it'll give us something.
Right. That's a 2d4 on every time they start their turn, I believe.
Each creature in the line must succeed on saying acid spells. Creature covered in acid takes 2d4 acid damage at the start of each of its turns, but they can actively remove it. That makes it. You can small. You can also. Don't start touching there. Shot the range attack. But it's a ranged attack. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is proof without thought.
Yeah. Do you want to be the buff that I would give it? If it
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna have it do this low damage, also please look at the upcast.
When you cast a spell using a spell, you can create one additional shrub for every. This spell! This spell!
uh, yeah, I would make it to where you let the thing move. The range attack is only, from how I read this, 10 feet from this little
That is
guy.
great. That is baffling. But no. This spell, yeah, no, this spell's bad. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's literally just 10 feet, which means
Yeah,
it's super to avoid. Yeah, no, this spell sucks.
I like how it says you can do You can command multiple shrubs to like attack the guy at once. Which, granted, you could have a weird scenario where you
I mean, it's
upcast
not
this.
concentration.
Yeah, it's not concentration. You could upcast this, like instantly surround an enemy, and then use your bonus action to command them. Because keep in mind, this is an action. You could use your bonus
Mm-hmm.
action to have them all attack at once. Then
There, but
I don't think
still.
that's worth it, mind you. But
Yeah,
that's an
let's carry
option.
on. This is a proof without thought.
Yeah, it was.
The worst part is it seems these last few things are. So we got sprout foliage.
Sprouts foliage. We have not covered that one. So what do we got? So it's
First level action self. We got a material component. Flower seeds.
uh,
You sprout and rapidly grow a lush leafy foliage that covers the entirety of your body.
you're prone and motionless. You're
You're,
indistinguishable from normal brush.
it's that item from Fortnite.
No.
If a creature has observed you, we were acting once you intelligence action, supposed to determine that you aren't a bush. To unitize again from a creature that's a strange you must take the high action while you're unseen by that creature. For the duration, you can use your action to create and hurl a pinecone barrier fire, but when you usually make it.
Wait.
Alright, this is actually fine.
Wait,
This is fine.
you can hurl a pine cone from the. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, no, this spell is fine because it does two things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Alright, carrying right along. So
hurls a
that's
pine
sprout
cone.
foliage. It's proof, by the way.
Also, for the record, sprout foliage. Why is this spell on the sorcerer list?
It looks like it's just on like all the lists. Anyways, control animal. Have we covered it?
Control animal. We have not covered control animal.
How many do we have left after this?
I do not know. But anyway.
Alright, this is a second level spell. Action, 60 feet. It's concentration. We got a material component I need to look at. A bit of modifier. Choose a beast that you see with range. The beast is effective if it has challenge. If it has, otherwise, an affected creature must see on a wisdom saving throw, or you take total objective as your conscious enters its body. Well, under the effects of this spell, here one guys can make special senses. You can move and take action. The creature can perform tasks. The creature can always perform. Anytime conscious, it doesn't.
So
If a creature takes damage, you must make a wisdom check. And take whichever Number siren fail, the creature regains control of its body and the spell ends.
Is this just a
It's
different version of
basically
Dominate Monster?
it's a weaker version because you basically
Yeah.
control one creature and then you're not controlling yourself.
And so we're basically taking possession of the
Yes,
creature.
but
Okay. But it's
here's
only
my question for you,
CR2
Ross.
or lower.
Ross, when is that going to be useful?
At lower levels.
That's not. I want an actual scenario.
Oh.
Remember, in order to do this, I am sacrificing every other option I get as a spellcaster or a character.
Well.
Keeping in mind that I could also just as easily get a summoning spell. Or a familiar.
What are the casting? Oh, so it's all three. Okay. Well, first off, uh, I'm mainly trying to think about a combat, but in combat, I mean that takes
I
off
will
one enemy off the board
you,
temporarily.
I will save you the trouble, Ross. The cost ain't worth it. Yes, you're taking an enemy off the board, Ross, but what else are you doing?
Taking yourself off the board, but you are.
And
Yeah.
let's take the bet. Let's just balance the scales a bit, Ross. You are a level 3 sorcerer.
Yep.
That is a CR2 or lower animal. Who would you rather have on your side?
Level 3 sorcerer,
Yeah,
personally.
level 3 sorcerer.
Yes, so I am just going to save you the trouble. This spell is absolutely and utterly useless for combat.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
out of combat though, there could be some scenarios like
Mhm.
if you need a distraction to get inside of a particular town, if you could see, actually, with how far is at 60 feet, actually, they might be out of range. But what if
So
you're able to subtle spell this and target let's say there's a boar that someone's
Mhm.
bringing in, and have them start going a little crazy as the boar
okay, Ross, let me play with that,
as a
Ross.
distraction.
You are a town guard. A boar a normal, regular ass boar starts rampaging through your town. How many guards do you send after it?
Probably just the
One
two that are right
that-
there.
The answer, Ross, is 1. The most this spell can do is take 1 guard off the board, used that way. It is not going to make for a good distraction, when again, if you were just a conscious sorcerer, you'd have other options.
Right, no, I'm not saying the spell is great. I'm just saying that there are scenarios where I could see this being useful.
Again, yes, please give me one, because yes, the distracting a guard isn't one.
I would argue
It
it
could
can
be-
be, depending on how big as the boar, you're able to create a distraction. Like, keep in mind,
Ross, I will save you the trouble,
Okay.
not vary.
I have a scenario for you, please.
All right, let me just before we go, giant boar 5e. That is a CR. Oh, that is a CR2. So you could do a giant boar, I guess.
Oh, I was not even thinking they were not a CR2.
Anyways, what's up, Eve?
So, say somehow you're the only spellcaster in the party. So none of you have a familiar. But for some reason there's like a big animal with you. And you're trying to like see inside a temple or in a cave or something without having to go in yet.
Eve.
Oh.
We are trying to discuss reasons to choose this spell over Find Familiar and other spells.
Well, I was
no.
gonna say, keep in mind, sorcerers don't get Find Familiar, so
there are ways around it.
I know there are, but what if this particular sorcerer doesn't take those particular options?
Yeah.
Why? Then we're back to the question: why didn't they? And it's not just Find Familiar. Sorcerers can get a bunch of much more useful beast companions. The issue, okay, Ross. There are 2 issues that make this spell suck. You know which one of them are.
I'm assuming it's Is it called Charm Beast? No.
No, I'm not. We're not comparing.
Oh.
Although that is a thing, yes. Which is again another thing you would take instead of this. No, there are two things about this spell that makes it god awful. You know what one of them are because we've talked about it already. Tell me what the other one is.
The fact that. Also, wait a minute. Hold on, I just realized the problem with this.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Double check unconscious for me.
Ross, read the next,
Wait, this doesn't affect your ability. Okay.
Yeah, no. As you'll note, by the way, they were very careful, you may notice.
Yeah, I was like, wait a
That's
minute.
a semicolon. Woo! Which means we can connect the two sentences. Anyways, but no. That's not it, because again, they were good about that. No. There is something else about this spell. Something that is very much raw and wry that makes this spell utterly god-awful. And I will in fact say, one of the worst spells I have ever seen.
I don't know, but we've seen some pretty bad spells. Anyway,
You keep...
I...
Alright, Ross, here.
Well, okay.
Let's...
One issue I see with the spell is the fact that it's limited off the bat by such a low CR. So, like, you can't... There's no way... that we're
Correct,
gonna
but that...
see- Yeah.
Yes, but here, Ross. Okay, let's... Alright. Alright, Ross, here. Let me help you out here. So, you're using it for a distraction, Ross.
Yes. Which, you say only one guard would be distracted. I don't... I think I think it depends on what's going on. Maybe there's only one guard at this gate, but
here,
anyway.
Let me just help you understand here, Ross. If a giant boar were already in town rampaging, the guards would already be distracted whether you control the beast or not.
Oh no, the only reason why I say a giant boar, I'm more talking like an animal that is, seems to be calm and like, walking in, like cattle or something. You know what I mean?
But yes, but that's the thing. If it's an ordinary animal, it will not cause the commotion you need. But if it's an animal that would cause the commotion you need, it would already be causing that commotion, whether you were controlling it or not.
Okay.
That is issue number one, or that is a issue, but it's not the issue I'm talking about. Here. Okay, Ross.
Yeah.
Let me propose a scenario for you.
Okay.
So you're using this animal to distract guards, and let's just, for the sake of argument, say somehow, by some miracle, you've actually distracted a decent amount of them with it. For the record, that is not something I, as a DM, view as feasible.
Right.
Which should already tell you how useless will be at my table.
At most, I was thinking 2.
But yes,
most.
let's say... But let's say that happens, okay?
Yeah.
Just for sake of argument. What are the guards going to do when they catch up to the beast?
Either try to... Well, either kill it, which I think is maybe more reasonable, or they try to calm down the beast.
Let's be real, it's going to be the first one.
Yeah, it's more than likely going to be the first one, but hey, who knows? Maybe you find the pacifist town guard.
Maybe, but even so. If a beast is attacking them, they're going to fight back.
Pacifist Pat.
I want you to read the second paragraph.
Yeah, where if they were to take or if the animal were to take damage, the DC, they have to make an animal handling check with DC of 10 or half the damage it took, whichever number is higher.
Okay, so now, my next point. Look at the duration.
An hour.
Look at the C.
An hour of concentration.
Now, here, let's actually talk about the traits of unconscious for a second. if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And yes, I am getting
mean-
to something with this, by the way.
Automatically fails dex and strength, automatic crits,
There it is.
but they wouldn't be randomly
Automatic.
attacking the guy that's sleeping.
We're not thinking of this as a sorcerer spell at the moment. And you could argue subtle spell fixes some of these problems. But verbal, thematic, material. A reasonable person who
Well, okay,
can
that's right. We're looking at it from the sorcerer list. That's why I brought up subtle spell.
yes, but
that is
remember that we're not thinking about this as a sorcerer spell. We're thinking of this as a spell.
right. That's fair.
You're right.
Who else gets this?
So, yes.
Druid, ranger. Yeah, that makes sense.
Druid and Ranger both have alternate options for this. But anyways, let's carry back around. My point, right? The spell is fairly visible, even with, and I'll even say, even with subtle spell, there are things it does and things it doesn't do.
Specifically the material components. Unless you're playing
Correct.
2024.
Yes. So the reason I bring that up is, presuming you are visible when you cast the spell, at the very least, it's obvious you do something. A reasonable individual will make the connection when you do something, and then the animal starts to go apeshit, and you fall unconscious. They will make two connections. Number one.
Please, here's what I'll say. Me personally, I would find that a little bit of a stretch. Because of, I think it would depend heavily on what the material component specifically was. Like, let's take a look at, for example, Fireball, because I know it has a listed component.
Why not just look at what this spell?
Well,
a bit
of matted fur, which it doesn't specify. What is actually matted fur? Is that just like a bundle of fur?
It's just fur. But Ross,
yeah,
fur with that's not
okay. Ross, here, let me help you out here, okay? Because let's not even think about someone in the D&D universe. If someone does something, they go unconscious, and animals start going apeshit, what would you logically assume happened?
Well, here's my point. I feel like as a town guard, you gotta consider the fact. I think we also gotta consider the fact of, okay, what if we're not just standing on the ground? What if we're in a cart? What if we're in a scenario of, the guard notices the animal, panicking basically, and our character not passing out? Like maybe the guard would. I feel like it just depends on the scenario.
Yes, but for now, we're looking at a couple scenarios. We're looking at various things. And I would also argue you wouldn't cast this spell if you were in a cart. But we'll get to that in a second. So for now, let's ignore the cart because I am getting to a larger point here about this spell. Alright, so where was I? We're talking about, yes. The other issue, and this is the more problematic one. As someone knowledgeable in tactics and actively working against your group, which if you need a distraction, you know what that means, right? And I see a member of yours that I believe to be pretty powerful, unconscious and vulnerable. What do I do? Even disregarding the whole spell thing.
I mean, that is specifically like I'm just thinking like, okay, what if our characters are trying to smuggle in something? Like we haven't been to this town yet, but we're trying to smuggle something in.
Okay.
Would that guard know how powerful this random guy is?
No.
That's exactly my point.
But in that case, you absolutely do not want to use this spell. Because there are two scenarios we're trying to smuggle something in. Security is tight, security is lax. And I guess in between. But if security is tight, anything you do will be noticed. And one beast ain't gonna cut it, no matter what type of beast it is. If security is lax, why would you risk calling attention to yourself?
Well, it would be an animal that's like a little further away. Look, I agree with you that it's bad, but I just am bringing up potential things that a player could do.
Yeah, this spell is not bad, Ross. 60 feet is not a long distance. It is a pathetically small distance. You can make 60 feet in 6 seconds.
I forget. Does distance spell apply to saving throw spells, or is that
It
only for attack
absolutely
rolls?
does. It absolutely does, but we're not looking at this as a sorcerer spell. And the more we have to do, and the more we have to spend to make the spell good, the lower it falls.
I mean,
Yes.
right. Does it prove out that?
Anyways. Yes. But, carrying on, the reason this spell is absolutely useless, and this is the honest truth, is anything you can get out of this spell, a first level spell will get you there.
And that's specifically why I was focusing on sorcerer for looking at the spell, because druid and ranger just has speak of animals and can charm animals, or
Here.
animal friendship, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Let me help you out right now. I am looking at the sorcerer spell list.
I was gonna say, I know for a fact, I'm like 99% sure that sorcerers do not get a spell that's like first or second level that would do anything for animals.
No, you're right.
Charm person.
Charm
no.
person, that'll accomplish it.
No, that's specifically humanoid.
No. Again, our goal isn't controlling the animals. Our goal is a distraction. Charm person will cause it, and honestly, will probably result in a lot more guards if you use it right. Disguise self, distort value, really, really good.
Okay, for sneaking something in, distort value, if you
perfect.
okay,
Distort value is perfect.
plebes. Okay,
Mhm.
so are you telling me that if I cast distort value, let's say somehow in the real world, and I would use distort value on a box of weed to make it less pricey, would that make it less illegal?
I mean, it's very illegal here, so.
But you get my point, right? I don't think distort value for that specific thing would not be the best of options.
I am not assuming you're smuggling drugs.
Well, okay.
If you want to put asterisks, this is good for smuggling drugs, be my guess.
Jesus Christ.
I assume that the reason you're smuggling is because the town is trying to confiscate valuable goods. But we're not talking. Distort value. Fog cloud. It has two benefits. Number one, its range is very far.
It is.
120 feet, and even farther if you're a sorcerer, which you are in this case. And number two, it can look natural. It isn't obvious that Fog Cloud is a spell.
Oh.
Annoying, which means if you're trying to sneak something into a town, if they can't see you, they can't see you.
I was about to call out about the verbal smack components, but I guess you could style spell this one. So,
Also, you're 120 feet away. Ross, go. Have you heard anyone talking at a normal volume 120 feet away from you in a busy city?
have you heard of this perfectly sunny day when suddenly fog came in on one side of the town?
It actually happens. It actually happens. Like, it's an actual natural phenomenon. But anyway, we're not done.
Okay, no,
Silent image.
Silent image could be fair. That's a fair one to smuggle in.
Sleep. It's a little risky, but it can help get you there. And second level. Darkness is not useful. Detect thoughts is helpful, though.
Detect thoughts is always helpful.
Enhance ability is helpful. Enlarge reduce is amazing.
I forget,
if you try to smuggle something.
can you target that on objects, or is it just
Yes, you
creatures?
can. Yes, you can.
Okay, I always forget about that with large reduce.
But invisibility?
Can you
Presuming it's that you can carry on yourself.
double check? Wait, can you? Oh, carrying on yourself. Okay, I was gonna say, wait, can you target objects invisibility?
Yes, yes.
Can't you go through walls of kinetic jolt? Isn't it how it works?
I don't actually know this
Or
spell.
I know
I actually don't know this spell.
I know we have it.
You can.
No, enter space of another
No.
creature. My
Yeah,
bad.
no,
My bad.
this isn't helpful. This isn't helpful.
My bad.
But Phantasmal Force. You can literally make it be anything.
I thought Phantasmal Force was the one that Kiri used in the Earth Temple, or not Kiri, Zeb.
Yes, it is. And you can make it be anything.
But why would you target the objects?
Well, you don't target. You don't target the object. You target the board.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again, you're talking about having a giant beast tramping through town. Look at that, a giant beast tramping through town.
Okay.
Yes. Do you see what I'm getting at?
But also has a material component that someone could see.
Correct. The point is that Phantasmal Force is useful in more situations than Control Animal.
Right. No. Anyway.
Yes. My point in all this is Control Animal is, and I hate to say this, Spider Climb is helpful. Suggestion is helpful.
Approved without thought.
It's useless.
I
It is genuine.
I wouldn't give it the tag of useless, but there are better options.
If there is never a reason why I would want to pick this spell over something else to accomplish a task, it is useless. And as of this moment, and I will say this, I am open to being convinced otherwise, but I will tell you right now, the smuggling scenario ain't it.
Well, I was gonna say I literally gave a scenario of Well, I would argue, especially in combat, like let's say keep in mind we have to be level 3 when we get the spell, so decent shot. One, we're gonna be fighting beasts at this level.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it depends on the campaign. And it could be like the last beast, and like everyone could be like prepared, or ooh, okay, here's an idea. You as the caster, because something that is missing from this spell, unless you see it and I don't, it doesn't say anything about you being within range of your body when you cast this. So you cast this on. Let's say we're in the city and there's the giant boar scenario. I cast this spell as the sorcerer or druid or ranger or whatever.
Yes.
And me controlling them, I just have them just leave the city. You can get a pretty decent distance in an hour.
But again, what does that accomplish that other spells couldn't just accomplish for me? And again, in a fight, Ross, I am never choosing to A, make myself vulnerable, and B, not do my own stuff so that I can be a beast.
Well, I was gonna say specifically, this is like the beast is like the only thing that either the only thing that's in the combat or is the last thing that's in the combat. If that makes sense.
Then I maintain my other points.
I think at this point we're just going in a circle. Let's just move on.
Fine, we'll move on. I think this is fun, but we'll move on. Approve without thought. Where were we? Control Animal. Okay, Monkey's Grasp. Have we covered that?
I am pretty sure we have not. Monkey's Grasp.
Are all of the spells going to be in the... I think, maybe. I'm not sure about everything, but a good chunk of stuff.
Let's see. Monkey's Grasp. Second level, action, duration a minute. It's concentration. You summon a large ethereal monkey paw
that rises up and grasps a huge monster on the ground. You can see the paw attempts to grapple the target using focus. The result of grapple, if loses conscious, the paw does risen spell. Will grapple the paw. 1d8 Start use its action to attempt to each shape the grapple as normal when the grapple is broken. The body is buttons. This is fine. Approved. But this is fine.
Yeah, I see this as a worse what's that fist spell that we always do the
Bigby's hand?
damage. Yeah, Bigby's hand. It's worse for the simple fact of it goes away after the target gets out of it or
Correct.
dies. So I
Correct.
feel like that's fine. Lower level, that's fine.
Alright. I believe we've covered all these.
Yes.
I do not believe we've covered Conjure Ocean.
We have not, because I saw that one right above Control Animal.
Alright. This is concentration, 10 minutes.
You teleport
Material
a
component.
random
20 foot from the bottom of the ocean to an area that's the water holds its cube shape as a creature can enter next to the ocean. Onto the water, loses its shape. Any creature inside the water is carried 30 feet in a random direction.
Okay. So, okay, what is this? So what is the tag? Because sometimes these type of spells have like a tag of, oh, maybe like for crowd control and whatnot. What is the spell providing us?
I think honestly, it's getting someone out of your way for a third level spell slot.
Okay, you know what? This actually is good for crowd control. If you actually, are you allowed to?
There is one reason this isn't good for crowd control.
Because what I was thinking specifically was, okay, there's nothing limiting it from targeting a group of creatures. Okay, so scenario time.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a fight. There's a good dense
Yep.
amount of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever gets the spell, which for those that are not looking at the screen, it's Druid, Ranger, Sorcerer, or Wizard. You cast the spell over them. So now, this 20-foot of area works exactly like someone would be underwater, aka the slower swimming speed.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage on any attacks unless they have a swimming speed and a. Actually, is it the swimming speed that matters, or is it they can breathe underwater that matters?
Swimming speed what matters.
Yeah. Okay. So if they don't have let's say in the scenario they don't have a swimming speed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's goblins for some reason.
Okay.
They don't have a swimming speed, so they're affected by disadvantage on that, on their weapon attacks.
Yep.
They'd have to worry about potentially drowning.
Mm-hmm.
Which they can easily get out, but it's a possibility that they could drown if you hit them right.
I'm glad you covered that, Ross. But I'm gonna be honest, I am shocked you put all those selling points without when you knew about that big drawback that makes all those selling points kind of pointless.
What?
The fact that they can easily get out, Ross, means it's not going to accomplish any of that stuff you just said.
Well, I won't say never. Like, it's also, keep in mind, it's also reducing their movement speed. Like, it's a big area, like, of slowness. That, keep in mind. Because this is the same level, so I'm going to compare it to the spell Slow. Slow, they have to fail a save. This is no save.
I mean, yeah, again, okay, here's what I will say. This spell isn't useless. Unlike the spell we looked at last time.
Right.
There are cases where I will actually legit see you using it. Because yes, you're right. It will, for a brief period of time, and I do mean brief, it will slow down potential pursuers. And that's what I think the spell's useful for.
You could also, now I know this is third level and there are better spells to have for this. Like, keep in mind, this is concentration, so we could do this to fly as well. But
yep,
a sorcerer could have this equipped and have it be multi-purpose. Let's say they're in this dungeon room and there's a key at the very top of the ceiling. Let's say it is 20 feet. However, they don't have fly or levitate. They could swim up the water to collect the key. You know what I mean? Which, that's more situational.
Fair.
That's more situational.
But also, like you said,
yeah.
Like you fly. But, you know, I think this spell is good if you're in a chase, if you're running away.
It's good in a chase. I would argue if you're in a scenario of, for some reason you need to water a bunch of plants, I would argue that this could do a fairly okay job. But
There's
I do want to bring up the fact
literally a
that
spell that could summon water.
Yeah, I don't know if the
No,
sorcerers get it. I
they
think
get
Drew.
it, but it's not
Yeah,
important.
either way.
Here's what I am going to say. This is approved without thought, but not nearly as bad as Control Animal.
That's fair.
Let's move on. How much do we have left?
Let's see. So going from top down, we have, let's see, one.
Did you already do Gaia blocks?
We
Yeah, we
did,
did.
yes. Let's.
Which was just a worse stairs. Okay, unless I'm missing any, there's only one spell left.
All right. Well, then this is just for fun at this point. Is that one spell on the cleric list?
I don't believe so, but do you want me to give you the name?
Yeah, sure. Give me the name.
Mushroom Ballista.
Sounds like a Druid or Ranger spell to
Which
me.
It absolutely is
which
a Druid or Ranger spell.
I'll be straight up. I looked at this spell and was
Mm-hmm.
confused by it for a moment, and after thinking about it, I understand how it properly works.
All right, let me give it a read.
Yeah. So first off, second level bonus action,
No
verbal
concentration, verbal.
duration
There's
an
a dex
hour.
save. Just put you touch 1 to 3 pieces of ammunition and imbue them with a unique totem. Throw plump your mushrooms around. When the creature is hit with a red weapon attack using the ammunition, it takes an extra one. It must make an extra save. The creature is pushed back on a number of feet. The damage taken runs up to the nearest 5 feet or maximum. Wherever that attack hits or misses, the spell then ends on that piece of ammunition. You cast the spell again, and any ammunition still affected by your previous.
So, the part that confused me when I originally looked at this was the knockback portion of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it is way too conditional.
Well, no. How I understand it now is it's any damage that you deal overall is applied to
let
that.
me
Not just the
read it
D6.
again. Takes an extra.
Because just as
You
damage
know what? I will give you that, but the maximum of 15 feet.
Yeah, it's maximum 15 feet.
I feel that's redundant. I think that's stupid. But we're gonna carry on.
Right.
Because the real point I want to get to is this.
Flame arrows, which concentration, however, you get. How many are you gonna get? 12. 12. Yes, 12. This only gets you 3.
Yeah. Flame arrow is, by the way, 3rd level spell. Okay, 3rd level spell. I guess with that in mind, I guess I gotta approve it. It's not. It actually technically is viable. Seriously, 3.
Yeah.
It's lame. 3 is lame. 3 is lame.
I agree.
But fair enough. I guess it's fine. They approved.
Yeah. And unless I'm gonna do one more quick glance, but I believe that is our last spell. Let's see.
Okay. So, while you are looking at your last grant, I want to make kind of a closing statement about Obojima.
That is the last spell.
Yeah, because we're done with the book. Time for a closing statement. So,
I think
it made like I was very, very harsh on these spells, and I was, because I think a lot of these spells are lame, brought to a regular D&D game. However, they're not meant for a regular D&D game. They are meant for a very low combat, magic is just kind of fun and whimsy type of setting.
Yeah, I think
in that regard, they are fine.
I think in general, I did like some of the ideas they had in the book overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do I think some of the execution landed perfectly? Debatable.
No, I mean, there was a hand. There was enough good stuff in this book that I don't regret reading it.
Right, and
I don't regret diverting. When we finished Helliana, I regretted diverting our attention from our other project to read it. I did not feel that after Obojima. This was absolutely worth checking out, and absolutely worth some of the thoughts we've had on it. I hope you've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
But that is it for this. Next time, unless Team Beyond decides to be mean again,
I swear to God,
we're gonna get back to Spire of Secrets because we still have so much to get through in that book.
Yeah, so much content. But yeah, check out Obojima, Tale of the Tall Grass on D&D Beyond, or
Or
We're-
anywhere else, really.
Yeah, anywhere else. Thank you guys for watching. As always, stay tuned for more. Bye bye.